Today on the show, I'm excited to talk about the reasons I think people who have invested in XRP will get a big reward for their faith. When we think back to 2021, it's clear that XRP did not have a boom like many other cryptocurrencies did. A big part of this was because it was against the law. However, I'm beginning to think that these legal problems are more of a trap, maybe meant to keep regular people like us from getting involved. Among the most interesting things about XRP is that that's why it was made, especially when you think about the digital world we're moving toward. It looks like you've come to the right place to find out about the latest XRP news. One last thing I'd like to ask you before we talk about the great news for today. Please show us some love if you like what we've done. If you click the like button, sign up for our channel, and press the notification bell button, you can join our great group. Now for some good news. We're about to give away a lot of XRP as we're getting closer to having 60,000 members. The process of joining is very easy. There are only 3 steps to follow. Find out as soon as possible more about this. You should not miss this chance. Make sure that the word money side is in your thoughts and notes if you want to be in the drawing for the prize. We are all aware that digitalization will become more important in the coming years, and that almost everything will change to a tokenized form. When you look at XRP's basic papers, like its white paper, you can see that its main goal is to make it easier to buy and sell things, not just money, in a world where tokenization is quickly spreading. When thinking about how XRP could be built to handle the trade of tokens and money based on assets, it's interesting to think about what could be done. The answer depends on how well it works. It is a lot easier to do things when they are tokenized. But on the other hand, it's possible that XRP will work with Stellar, which could be seen as XRP's less interesting sister, to make moving money and digital assets easier. Let's look at how XRP affects liquidity to better understand why it might change the way money is sent. For instance, the current method needs twice as much money to make a transfer from one bank in Japan to another bank in the United States, from Japan to the United States. For this situation, XRP is very important. It could change the way things are done by making a lot of money available, they make foreign money transfers possible. I'm going to talk about how XRP might affect the foreign exchange market, FX market, and how liquid the market is this time. Let's say for a moment that a token like XRP makes it possible to trade very quickly. This new idea has the ability to make a market much more efficient by releasing a large amount of liquidity. A lot of banking institutions have teamed up with Ripple because of how fast it works. No matter what, it hasn't quite reached the point where it is used in places like hospitals. Allow me to show you an example to help you understand this. The Bank of Mitsubishi in Tokyo would normally need the same amount of money in both dollars and yen at both sites in order to send 100 million yen to its office in New York, and then convert it to dollars. This would cause a $200 million tie-up. That being said, it would be a huge step forward if this exchange could be linked to a token like XRP. Ripple's possible decision to go public is another interesting development that should be thought about. It still needs to get permission from the SEC to make this choice. It's a big step forward that Ripple won the case where Judge Torres said it wasn't a security. This is a very important change, even though it's not something we talk about very often on the show. I've been buying an XRP for a while now. I have had a hard time with XRP while we have been together. During the last bull market, I was able to get better returns on other assets, but the case made it hard for me to do that, slow down the growth of XRP. I also think it's interesting that the XRP community sometimes shows such strong emotion that it almost looks like a devotee group. I've been too excited about projects in the past, and XRP was the same way. One big reason I don't like taking risks is the thought that some of my fans may have invested money because of my excitement and then lost it. On the other hand, new technical analysis shows that XRP might be about to experience another rise like the one it had in 2017. It looks like things are set up in a way that is similar to how they were before the 2017 surge. A lot has been said on the show about the Hunt Volatility Funnel method, which is also known as the HVF. Francis Hunt's appearance as a guest has given us a lot of useful information. His prediction is that XRP will go up in value to 116, which is a big jump from where it is now, which is around $60. In the event that this prediction comes true, it could be a huge win for buyers. The movie we're showing today is meant to bring attention to what I see as a big chance with XRP. There is a strong reason to think that people who have invested in XRP will soon make a lot of money. This may sound like an old story, but it's true. In this case, the most important thing to think about is XRP's technical structure, which seems to be going in the same direction that led to its huge gain in 2017. In spite of the fact that XRP did not reach any new highs in 2021, this is a good sign for the cryptocurrency. getting everything ready for a view spike similar to the one that happened in 2017. As someone who owns XRP, I agree with Francis Hunt's optimistic forecasts. I've been looking at how he solves problems for a year now. It's hard to ignore the connections between the trends that happened before 2017 and the ones that are happening now. The fact that XRP could hit $16 is a strong sign that something important is about to happen. There are several things that could cause this to change, such as the chance that either Ripple is going to go public or they just bought back their own stock, which shows they are sure of their plan. I believe that you should add XRP to your portfolio, especially since liquidity is so important in today's business world. Lots of people who own XRP have been very frustrated, and I want to recognize that. I also think the same thing. I do think, though, that the time we've been waiting for is almost over. When XRP finally goes on sale after a long wait is about to start, which could have a huge effect on both its value and its place in the coin market. What I want to talk about is the idea that the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, might have been trying to keep regular people from investing in XRP because they were told to by higher-ups in the company. It's crazy that more and more banks are working with Ripple, even though they were being sued not long ago. Being strong is shown by the fact that these financial institutions did not run away when they were sued. XRP is helpful. One thing that makes XRP different from other cryptocurrencies is that it is not a hedge fund. It is one of the few cryptocurrencies that is very clear about how the law treats it. After this happens, it's possible that XRP will be able to get a bigger share of the coin market as a whole. There are technical signs that point to this happening. The year 2024 looks like it will be very important for Ripple and XRP. Ripple has made a number of predictions and comments that say,